Okay, folks, we're back at it again. Working on the pigsty and chicken coop from foreground. And let's see how these, let's declamp this and see how we did. See how these are looking. Gluing this with white glue sounds like a really unique way of doing it as far as I'm concerned. So far, so good. Let's keep these clamps handy in case we need to use them for something else. And the staircase, also done. This is going to need some kind of weathering, just to make it look more in line with everything else. I think this ends up being over on this side. Okay. I gotta find where I left over. So we did where I left off. So we did the steps. This is where we're at. Really nice instructions here. They're full color. The only gripe I would have, quibble, is that sometimes the part number is not very brightly marked on there, so it's difficult to see. But now that we know that, we know to look for that. So next thing we got to do is look for E1. E1 is hanging out here. Okay. And then we need E1B, which is a tiny little piece. It almost looks like some of it's missing, but it's just a little tiny piece that's in the center there. I'm gonna pop that thing out. And E1A, which is this one. And I think the white glue worked really well. Considering I have no confidence in it, but it's also very forgiving. So, all right, let's get another little part here where we have this. And we should be able to be on here about 2.5 hours. That's at least what the plan is. Yeah, we're gonna have to let that one soak. Let's get another one. I want to use one of these that's excellent, but one that's maybe past its prime. Yet it's still mildly bendy. Here's a good candidate right here. All right, so man, it's little. It's really little. One B. It's just a part where it looks like the coating on the wall has chipped off, and the material that the wall is made out underneath is showing. And this one fits right here. All right, and That's done. We go to H now. H. Oh, it's putting the lintels on there. H2, of course. The wooden lintels. Okay. The farm thing actually kind of works because I have this other building here that's kind of a farmy building. I use it kind of as like a shed. And then I have a farmhouse that is destroyed, unfortunately. Unfortunately, because you have the added challenge of not only making something look like a weathered building, but one that's, been obliterated. It's but I think it'll turn out just fine. Just a matter of I did put stuff on there already. Okay. Hey, Mr. Barnes. Yeah, I should be on here for about 2.5 hours, something like that. I would have been able to be on there earlier, a little bit longer, but I needed to get those 2 videos out. Because if I can't put them out today, it's going to be even less likely to be able to be done another day. Okay, so that's done. Now we go to the E2. And it has 2 pieces of wreckage, so to speak. E2A, E2B. Here's E2B. Here's E2A. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed them. I had a really good time actually talking at length with 4 people. I think it's 4. And at length meaning, about a half an hour or so. With 4 people I had not really met before. I really enjoyed that. That was nice. That's what I go for. I go for socializing. I don't really need a game. Friday, as a matter of fact, during the 12 hours that there was sessions to play in, 12 hours or so, I only played 1 game. And it was just kind of by accident. It was that game where we're on a destroyer. It was actually a pretty cool game. Everybody in that game was it's nice when you play a game and you enjoyed everybody that you're playing with, and that's kind of the norm, but sometimes that isn't the case. I did run into a couple people at the con that I'd rather not play another game with them. They just didn't have the right attitude. But some people you try to help them out, and you feel like you're trying, and they think you're out to get them, and it's like, fine, I won't help you then, Maybe they're just paranoid, or maybe they've had a bad experience, but I don't want to play somebody with a game that I know really well, and they don't, just so I can walk over them. What's the point in that? And I really enjoy definitely making videos of games. There's definitely affect my play, because there was this one guy. It was in the second game that I played of Lion Rampant. I had already gotten the hang of it pretty good. By the third one, I was almost like running half of the game because I was familiar with it, and the game makes a lot of sense, and I had played it before too. I'd played it twice, so I played like 5 games of Lion Rampant, 3 of them 3 times in a row, the other day, yesterday, but this guy was just talking out loud what I was doing and what for, and you know, it's like, you know, there's no point in, you know, playing elusively. You know, if you go and you say, hey, I'm moving within bow range, just say it. Hey, I'm moving within bow range. So it's not like, no, you didn't. You know, of course that depends on who you're playing, but there was a couple of no, you didn't, I had to play with, and I don't really care for that. Especially when people that usually accuse you of something are the first people to do it themselves. So the hypocrisy is strong with this one. Okay, what's the lintel on this one? This is H1, a long lintel. But the reason I played Lion Rampant, actually because I wanted to play Lion Rampant, and the GM that runs that particular game, he runs different games as well. Always have good games with that GM. So I can see that these buildings would be a pain if you don't have a lot of patience. I actually think this is relaxing. Now, I wasn't actually expecting as much of a gap as there is between pieces, but it's better than it being too tight and having to trim the pieces, I guess. And the white glue covers enough of the opening, so it works pretty well. So we got those two sections done. Now we need F12, which is this bottom section here. And the E1, which is this one right here. And they want me to glue it like this. Make sure we're fitting okay. Okay, so it just glues on the bottom part in there. Okay, cool. So let's go over that. All right, that's sitting right there. E2 goes on the other side, facing in. Okay. All right, now we do E3, which is a doorway. And looking by this thing, it's on this side right here. This will help strengthen the bond here as well. I didn't realize that actually each wall is really made of two sides, and one's painted for the inside and the other one's painted for the outside. See, that one's going to go like that, and this one's going to go like this. And likewise, down here around that area there and that area there. Yeah, I gotta stay up for a little while. I gotta go pick up some family friends from the airport. So I can't think of anything better to do to stay awake than do this. The other one goes on the other end. Looking forward to going to sleep tonight in my own bed without a fire alarm going off or emergency exit door that's banging. Freaking crazy. Good thing it ended up being really not a big deal, but I was already having trouble falling asleep last night, and I guess it was probably a good thing that I hadn't gone to sleep, or I'd have been really confused. Okay, so let's go and set this piece off to the side, because this is going to end up sitting something like this up here. Let's go grab Peach F1. Here's F1. Gets a couple of lentils. It's a pair of H2 lentils. Never would have occurred to me to use white glue for this. All right, first lentil. All right. Where does that piece go? Let's see. That's F1. And there's an F5. Okay, we got two pieces here that are they're really long down here at the bottom. I'm not really sure what they're for, but I want to move this thing off to the side because those things look like nothing else. Just have to remember to go over there and grab them. Where is this? I think we got, here's the other piece that's over here, isn't it? Nope, that's the other item. So what is this piece? F? Oh, it's F1, but F5 is on it. See, it's freaking confusing. F, what? Yeah, this is F1. It wants me to put it on the outside. So the opening's here. It wants me to put it on this side and then put little things on the windows. Okay, fair enough. I'm saving all my MDF sprues. Wife just shakes her head. Just tell her, I don't know what you see in me either. Yeah, I don't like that. I was saving all the sprues, like plastic sprues for things, and I realized that they don't make antennas worth a damn anymore. You know, something happened and the sprue is just, you can't use, the stretch sprue just doesn't work as well as the music wire. But I was saving them all too. Okay. Just when I gotten the smell of this burnt MDF off my fingers, I coming back for more. All right, this is gonna go over the edge of that. That's gonna go over the edge of that as well, locking it in place. I think that should do it. Set this thing on top. Get the alligator clamps. One should do. Okay. I'm actually going to wait on the lintels. I'm going to glue F2 on this other side. She should fit easily over this. Yeah. Let's use the bigger one for this. Okay, that's done. Now we'll do the lintels. Actually, I'm still not going to do them. Let's do the front of this thing, which is this piece right here, and there's the back of it. I'm sure that's coming up soon. You can only avoid it for so long. For those people that do 28 millimeter, hey Captain. Yeah, well, it just lucked out. I just happen to have this material here. Yeah, they work out good. The actual drawing actually showed a clothespin for, you know, hanger. I haven't hung clothes out to dry in probably since about 1984. I got probably 16 of these things laying around over the years and really don't have much of a use for them. Can I safely do the other one and not get myself into trouble? Yes, okay. Hey Justin, what's happening, man? Just got back from our show in Orlando. Played a lot of Lion Rampant. Played only 4 games. I played 3 games of Lion Rampant and one of I think it's a solitaire board game called Picket Duty, and the guy just used it with models, so it had more of a 3D effect than the regular board game. But that was a fun game. It was a kind of a cooperative game. So that was a lot of fun. We had an incident last night at the hotel. It's a 5-story hotel kind of thing. It's actually just like a big motel but there's no entrances on the outside of it. You have to go through like, hold on one second. Did I buy anything cool? Yes, I did a what I bought at Recon video on my channel. Before I even got on, I did 2 videos. One of them was the walk around. I did that one first. And of course, after you do the video and put it together, you've got to wait for it to upload it to YouTube and then it percolate, which it took about an hour for it to be in HD. I don't like saying, hey, there's this video for you to check out. And YouTube hasn't done it in high definition yet because nobody wants to see it in 720. It just doesn't look good. But did I buy something cool? Yeah, this was actually something that was thrown in by the guy that I bought the tanks from. I bought some more 20mm tanks. Not exactly something I needed, but there's going to be some martyrs, set of martyrs that I don't have. And he threw in this chicken coop thing. And so far it looks pretty good. This is kind of I think it's something like this. You know, doesn't have to be a chicken coop. It could be something else. But you know, I don't mind a farm building. You know, I got other farm stuff. So I spent a very limited amount of money. Of course, I didn't need anything. I talked myself out of not buying any cigar box model mats. So, a couple F5s here. These are can't remember what it's called right now. The part that sits, the sill? Yeah, the window sill. That's what it is. Well, we had an incident last night. I got done with my game about 11 o'clock. I went back to the room and stayed talking for a couple hours. I had trouble falling asleep between, you know, taking a shower and everything. A couple hours went by, tossing and turning, and about 1:30 in the morning, the fire alarm in the hotel goes off, which I've never been in a hotel where the fire alarm went off. It didn't sound like what I expected a fire alarm to sound like because it actually wasn't as loud as I would have thought it'd be. Apparently, we're on the 4th floor, and on the 5th floor I heard rumors that there was a small fire. It was so small you couldn't smell anything, but anyways, we evacuated the building, I guess some people didn't, but that wasted about half hour for them to turn that thing on. Fire department showed up, and within moments of the fire department showing up, the alarm shut off. So we went back upstairs, resumed, and an hour later, or 45 minutes later, it went off again. And at that point, I'm like, I'm getting dressed. I'm getting dressed because I'm ready for, once they shut it off, if it goes on one more time, I'm just gonna drive home. You know, at 3:30 in the morning. I haven't even gone to sleep yet, you know. And, you know, if you ever like try to go to sleep and you can't, you keep tossing and turning, or you're just awake, it's like, man, it's like torture. I mean, you still are resting because you're not moving your body around, but, you know, your mind is just like busy. But I never won on the 3rd time. But, okay, so this is done. But I have a video of what I did at the cons. I like making those videos. And it's not me bragging what I got. It's just it might be something cool to see, you know, what I did. I love watching unboxing videos and stuff like that by other people. So this sits like this. The two roof things says not to glue them. So they just sit like here and like here. Or is it like this? Okay, those sit like so. There's your roof. All right. Then we got I1 and I2 times 4 and glue them back to back. Okay. Where did they go? Oh, they go here. Okay, they go there. And then they go here with them open. I guess they could go with them closed too. Okay. But I've spent very little amount of money. As I figured, if I'm really frugal, I could probably talk myself into buying some French buildings. But I don't know that I will. But I don't want to buy something and not do anything with it. H1. Why am I missing lintel H1? They could have given me an extra one. Well, it goes there. Let's just go ahead and put it on there now. I didn't see it on one of the steps. And then this is done. This isn't complicated. It's just it's multifaceted. Okay. And let's glue these parts together. This one too. I almost bought the Ironclad game and the expansion. They wanted $30 for both of them. I think that was a steal. But the reality is I'm not going to play it without Joe. Joe owns a copy of the rules. An abandoned brewery would be cool. Absolutely. No doorknob, huh? Well, see, this is supposedly a chicken coop, but there's nothing in there. So it could really be anything. It could just be a farm building. It could be storing who knows what, you know? What you're storing in there isn't really important. It's nice using materials that have no smell, though. Make sure that one's towards the bottom. It is. Okay. Watch out for squatters, that's right. Watch out for people that like to screw around with pigs, literally. Literally. And that's it, right? That's all the pieces. Because this one doesn't have any. Yeah. Man, it like didn't take that long to make. Okay. The door's here. I don't mind putting the door locked in. Just go ahead and do that. Probably going to give the door a wash. Going kind of thick, so this can kind of fill in some of the gap. Help hold it into place. Okay. All right. That thing's completely done. And we have the doors here. It's actually a pretty tight fit. That's awfully nice. But I did go to the show, and it affirmed the decision that I made in October not to continue doing what I used to do. So that's a good thing. Okay, that's done. Now the question is to make these closed or open? I'm gonna make them open. How they suggest on here. How do they have them open? All the way open? Okay. Well, I might have to get some little piggies and put them in there. Looked like someone was using some robots in a bolt action game on your video. Yeah, and I mentioned it's like, hey, those things don't belong there. I was actually surprised. There was quite a few things that I would say they were painted really, really well. The guy who had the Hungarian vehicles, they were painted really, really well. Well, I'm not an expert on Hungarian vehicles, only because I don't have any. I don't have anything against them, but let's do this. Let's put this underneath it. That was painted really well. Those guys, Americans, were painted really, really well. But he had those robots. I don't really know. Maybe they were doing something where you could play like 1946 stuff, or Weird War II, or something. But I did come back later and take a look at some of those games, and they had like tanks fighting each other like this far apart from each other. It was visually with vehicles. I thought Bolt Action was better than was worse than Flames of War. I thought it was worse than Flames of War. Aesthetically, with regards to range and stuff. So, but that's fine if other people enjoy, if other people enjoy the game, let them enjoy the game. I mentioned this to several people. I said, if you're playing a historical war game, and when you're done playing the historical war game, you don't want to look up something that happened in the game. on Wikipedia or anything else, then I think the game, at least for me, was a fail. Because that's what a historical war game should, I want it to do, is to make me be more excited about looking things up that really happened. You know? That's the appeal for me. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you checked it out, man. Unfortunately, but all the videos I took was Friday. On Saturday, I was so busy playing Lion Rampant that I wasn't able to get around. I didn't even get a chance to go to lunch. I did, and I came back, and you know, all the salads were gone because they had kind of like, you know, they had these salads that they had there that was actually pretty decent. They were, the price on them wasn't bad, and you know, it's going to be a lot better than eating a hamburger that's not going to be very good and bad for you. Double whammy, you know. So robots are from Conflict 47. Used to be a 15mm game. Yes, I'm back Nordic for a couple hours. So I got to stay up until a certain time, picking up some family friends from the airport. So once this dries, we should be golden. We should be golden. Because this sits up like this. This sits up like that. That sits up like this. And here's the stairs to it. So, and it'll go with this other farm building that I have. You know, and you know, like these roof tiles, we'll give them a dark wash because the color that's in the crease is lighter than the one on the outside. You know, and dry brushing it a little bit. I'm probably going to paint it. I'm probably going to paint it lightly. You know, like basically using water, you know, some watered down paints. But I'm probably going to paint it. You know, not watered too much, or otherwise the thing could come unglued. But yeah, so we got 2 farm buildings now, so that's good. Let's go build the walls now. That actually didn't take very long to do, and I'm a little bit more comfortable with my life depending on white glue. All right, let's move that off to the side. All right, now maybe we can process what we started working on. Yes, it tells you to use clothespins. I don't have any clothespins. I haven't had clothespins since 1984. We use a dryer. All right, so we've got this one, these 2 pieces. This couple of these pieces just popped out, so let's kind of get control of the situation again and see what we're doing. I don't understand why it has these little spots on it. Doesn't look like they're punched out. I probably wouldn't punch these out here. I'd probably leave them on there. But we got A2, we got A1, which is this one. We got A2 and A3. And these guys get glued together. These guys get this one and this one. They get glued together. And they'll be on like so. All right. So let's go ahead and move this stuff out of the way. Now that we got some experience with white glue. Now I still never came across what these two things do. So I'm going to hold on to them, find kind of what they do later. There's one game I really wanted to take a picture of it. I didn't get around to it. I never saw him playing it, but it was in the last session last night. So that was the one I was the most tired in and just flat out forgot to go take a look at other things. I just took so many pictures that figured that was enough, but there was a Russian and British scenario in Afghanistan or something like that in the 1880s. I wanted to get a look at that. How did I start getting your start in model hobbies? I remember when I was a kid, I wanted my dad, hey dad, build me this, build me this. I wanted him to build me a submarine, and then, I wanted to play with it. So I must have been like 8 or 9 years old. I don't know, it was always like a person that draws. I was big into drawing. I don't really draw anymore. I do this. I think this is a lot more satisfying. My dad built a few models, but nothing, nothing crazy. No crazy amount of things. First model I ever built was a P4 on my own, a P40 from Monogram Snap Type. Probably around 1981. Probably around 1981. Snap Type. Why'd I get a P40? It looked cool. Optional rubble. Oh, we're going to let that dry. What's the next section we do? B3. And should go with the one that's broken. And the broken ones actually, you could leave the pieces on, but if you leave the pieces on, there's holes around them. This is still going to give you plenty of cover, even if those pieces are missing. I'm going to have to buy some Elmer's glue. About the only place I go now is a grocery store. That's about it. I don't go anywhere else. Well, I mean, you go to work. I'm just saying, like shopping. I don't go to Walmart or anything like that. By the time you go to Walmart and fight all of humanity there, I'd just rather just Amazon and get it the next day. Of course, Elmer's glue is available at the grocery store, so next time I go to the grocery store, I'll probably get. I think this is the extra strength one. I don't know if it makes a difference. Extra strong formula. Let's glue this part together there. Make sure they're lined up. It's slippery, Joker. Where's the other? Okay, and this sits on, are they all the same? That's A1. B2 sits on B1. Okay. But man, it seemed like a long weekend. That's the way the convention goes. It's kind of short. It's just a Friday. I mean, they got some games on late on Thursday, but to get there, I'd have to take another half day off to get there on time from work. So all day's Friday, all day Saturday, and a few hours, 4 or 5 hours on Sunday. I didn't play on the Sunday ones. I'd just rather get home earlier. I think it was the right move. I think that's the right move, at least for me. Let's just leave this on for good measure. Okay? Now we have C1. C1 has C2 on it and C3. All right. Well, my dad was really into trains. He was really into HO scale trains. If I remember correctly, he had a room that was dedicated to a railroad layout, only for a small portion of growing up. I want to say when we had the house in Huntsville, Alabama in the late 70s. We were there for 3 years. It's the only time I've not lived in Florida. Dab. You mean, was there you mean DBA games going on? Yeah, they're in another area. Yeah, I didn't go out there. They had not a great amount of attendance, but you know, um, not my area of not my area of reporting. So I need one more of these. First convention in 18 years I didn't play any DBA. So, and no regrets. Yeah, I can't do all that. I can't do all that organizing, making awards, playing, not doing World War II stuff because I need to make a new army, reporting scores, videoing the whole convention. It's just too much. It's just too much. So this side is the one that is damaged. And reporting the scores. And reporting the scores to lots of different places. Anyone playing Flames of War, I think they had a big tournament on that. The area that was the bolt action on Friday, I think that was the Flames of War area on Saturday. But Saturday I was so busy playing Lion Rampant, I didn't get much of a chance to take photos or videos of anything. And that stuff wasn't that close to where I was, so. Oh, did I take that little bit off? I did. Okay, perfect. Additional rubble. Okay, well, we can worry about that stuff later. Have that dry. I'm going to go ahead and take the one off the first one. We're going to need these for the next one. D2, D3. D2, D3, D1. You know, we had another role-playing room, a whole role-playing room. I didn't make it out there. I didn't get a chance to film the flea market. You know, it's too busy. You know, you do what you can do, and that's all you can do. So, there wasn't very many people selling Flames of War at the convention. Pretty much only one guy was selling any, which I thought was honestly pretty surprising. Painted any miniatures without World War II stuff? Absolutely. For 18 years, I painted nothing but ancients and medievals. For DBA, that's all I did. So I haven't painted World War II stuff before October in many years. Okay, we'll let that guy dry. pair of E1s. I don't know. I don't know what these things are for. I have no idea what this piece down here at the bottom is that's long is for. Toothpick. Comes with a free toothpick. E2 and E3. I always liked World War II since I was a kid. That's the part to help poke out the other ones. Well, it's about useless then. Well, how do you get it out if you can't get the other ones out? Is it? Well, this one comes with two. So are these difficult to take out? I don't know. I don't see it on here anywhere. That could be. Close-up of the mystery part. I'm coming. You may be right because both of these have them. Let's see. Here's the part. This one down here at the bottom. And here it is as well. Two of them come in that one. These are actually pretty easy to take apart. That's not what I meant to say. I don't know what I meant to say. I think the lack of sleep from last night's catching up with me. These are pretty easy to take out of the sprue. That's what I meant to say. So yeah, take them apart. Yeah, take the pieces apart from the sprue. Yeah, I think Ben's answer is correct. I mean, what else could it be? It's not a stiffener for any piece. I don't know why one comes with two of them. I'm sure there's more pieces to come out, but you know, it's not like you're taking out 1,200 pieces. You know. Okay, then we got optional rubble thing, which I'm not going to get into that today. I'm not getting into optional rubble. So this stuff, obviously we're going to save these. Should be able to do a corner. So since these have a similar kind of rock that the house has, I'll probably use these in conjunction with those. All right. What's left here? Well, you got all these pieces here that I guess are for extra rubble. Ooh, they are. They pop out in almost individual pieces. Okay, we're not gonna mess with that right now. It's too late to be that creative. So let me get a plastic bag and box these up for later when I actually am going to finish them. Just a second. Now the big test, of course, is if you've got these if you got a wall of that size, what do you guys look like behind them? And I think they look all right. What'd you miss? You didn't miss anything. I'll never tell. Do I allow people in my hobby room? Yeah. Oh, you mean like the wife and daughter? Yeah, they can come in here. There's nothing in here they can't. I mean, the hobby is awesome because, you know, I'm not really doing anything I'm not supposed to be, you know. But meet people from like outside in the neighborhood. We did one of the DDA battles I did with Joe. We did some battles with like Renaissance stuff. No, not Renaissance stuff. His Italian cantata. We played in here. I brought the camera and the lights and everything in here. There was the wagon wheel. Here it is, and this piece of rubble. All right. So this goes here. So these two things were freebies, basically, that I got in the process of getting the other things that I'm going to show you next. We'll set this off to the side. We'll work on them probably sooner rather than later. I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. I just need to weather it so it's not as bright. But it's pretty good. I'll probably change out this and do the basing around a little bit more consistent with what I'm doing now, and then do this thing as well. And I think that they'll be very complementary to each other. Let's put that there. Let's move this over here. A safe location. Let's put the Frenchies back. Yeah, that's the two foreground stuff that I have. They're pretty much built. I just kind of add rubble and think about it. I just don't want to. I'll do that when I get ready to base them. This is kind of the wrong time for that. Let's put all these things away. I'll keep them here since they're pretty handy. But what I ended up getting at the flea market was this. I already have one of these. This is the Panzer the Czech 38 and Martyr variants. I did all 3 of mine as Czech 38s. So now I got another set, this one here, and I'm going to do at least 2 of them. At least 2 of them are going to be this Martyr down here at the bottom. This one right here, the Martyr 3H. That's the one that was used kind of like around the Kursk time period. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and grab my Deutschland and Kursk book and see how many are recommended in that game. I want to say there's 2 of them. If there's 3, I'll build them all that way. But I think there's only 2 recommended in the scenarios. So let me pull the scenarios up here. I will do a book, what do you call it? A video on this scenario book. But I already do two videos today, so it'll probably be coming up in the next couple weeks for sure. So I've got many of these, but these skirmish campaigns, there are some martyrs in some of these, and I'd like to at least build as many are in there as are in there. Still no vehicles. Hill 247. That says 2 Martyr. 2 Martyr 3s. Okay. Hold on. Let me make sure they don't get an extra one. No. And here, none. Okay. Here, none. Here, none. Maybe it's just that one scenario. No, here's 2 more. Yeah, just 2. Okay, so I'll probably do 2 of them. I don't want to do the really tall one because I have it in resin, and then I'll have one that's resin and one that's Plastic Soldier Company, and the Plastic Soldier Company is in 72nd and the resin one's in 76th. So I'd rather avoid, doing that. Eric Gray, welcome back. So that's probably what I'm going to do with those. I'm going to build 2 of them as Martyr 3s, and the other thing that I got, and it was just a steal. For $5, I got 7 tanks, and these are those Russian ones, which are kind of small, but they were like freaking less than $1 a piece. Like, how could I pass that up? Because they paint up wonderful, and these have some options to give them to be the radio version. They got the little radio antenna that's round that goes around the turret. So I believe I got 2 more T-28s and 4 more T-35s. So I got more T-35s and I know what to do with. So, yeah, I couldn't pass that up. And especially since I know that these paint up so darn well. They paint up so darn well. Actually, and one of them actually came with instructions. That one did not. These were sitting probably in somebody's basement for a long time. There's people trying to sell them on eBay for quite a bit of money. I guess because they're not available anymore. Here's the one that has the instructions on it. It's a T-35. Yeah. And it's got the antenna that you can put on right there on the turret. Real basic instructions, but they paint up pretty good. They actually made Primo makes 2 versions of them. They make the standard square type turret, and they make one that's more conical. This one's a little bit later. They're all the square ones. So actually, I don't think I've ever seen photography of the conical one. I have not seen that. So that's pretty much what I have. I think I'm going to I'm gonna put some martyrs together. Put the two martyr or well, one of them together right now, so we can take a look at what it looks like. These guys, they made a couple hundred of these things. This is the tank crew, so we're not worried about those guys right now. All right, let's get one each of these, one of these, and one of these, because you have that for each vehicle. Put the other ones in. Let's get the nips out. And let's cut that piece off. That's a common one. Basically, the way you build these, it's really ingenious, is the pieces that are in gray are common to all the vehicles. All three of the vehicles have all the gray pieces in common. And then if you want to do this green one, you use these green pieces on there. If you want to do the martyr in the middle, you use these here. And if you want to do the red one, you use these pieces here. So we're going to go ahead and cut the common pieces out. Okay, that's the running gear. Okay, you trim those up later. Chassis, you got to have the chassis or it doesn't really work. Back plate. Machine gun plate. All right. So let's move this off to the side. Let's move this off to the side. Let's get an X-Acto knife. Let's get a little piece of sandpaper, which I should have one here nearby. I do. And let's trim this thing up. I'm going to try to get close, not super close. We're going to go ahead and get the super readers up for that. I don't have them here. Hold on a second, they're in the other room. The super readers. These are the 325s. Normally I just take my contacts out, but I mean picking some people up from the airport in an hour and a half or so. So I don't really want to take them off to put them back on. Whee! I went to the show, and several people, two to be precise, were surprised that I was there. Oh, we thought you weren't coming to the show. Well, what makes you think that? Oh, well, you're not doing DBA anymore. I'm like, there's other things at the show, man. Yes, I'm not doing DBA, but I'm doing other stuff. You know, when you do only one game for a while, people are always asking, why don't you do another game? When you start doing other games and stop doing that first one, they're wondering, like, well, why aren't you doing the game you always did? Never happy, are you? Okay. I mean, I know people that every time you see them, they're playing a different game. I mean, you know, they're not into the stuff that they were into before. But there's several people that were regulars. They weren't there at the show. Okay. You've noticed most historical gamers jump to the newest rule set no matter what the period they're gaming. Why is it that most historical gamers can't stick with one rule set? I don't know. You're absolutely right. Most do. Yep. And a lot of gamers just collect rules and never play them. So I don't mind looking at Line Rampant now that I've played it 3 times in very recent memory. Do I have any Yag Tigers? I don't, but I have the paint scheme for them. Got that late 1945 paint scheme, so at some point I'm going to get one. I think they're decent for a scenario. I don't have a Yag Panther. I don't have a Yag Tiger. I don't have a Brumbar. I don't have a Sturmorser Tiger. Saw some folks that, man, these things fit so well you almost don't even have to use glue. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Saw some folks running around with some, at the convention, some German unit shirts. Didn't bother me, just, you know, not something I'm going to do. I brought that up many times. Did buy a copy of the Nuts Rules, but had trouble trying to figure them out. I do need to get some of them. I do. Go on my list. Hetzer. Hetzer's a grand little thing to have. Cute little guy. I had one. I sold one. I mean, I never built it. About 10 years ago, I sold all the kits that basically hadn't been tampered with. So if I started messing with a kit, I didn't keep it. I mean, if I kept it. And if I hadn't, I got rid of it on eBay. Because I was just like, I'm never going to do World War II again. How's that saying go? Never say never? So, I had a King Tiger, sold it. It was an Eschi King Tiger, so it's not like it was, you know, wonderful or anything. The Hetzer was also an Eschi. Sold it. Had another Panzer III-L that came with like troops from, I think it was the old Matchbox kit rebranded by Revell. So just imagine, I would have had a 6th Panzer III-L. It would actually be a 7th one. I don't know. I have too many of those. And that's it. I don't think I sold anything else 20mm wise. Vehicle wise. Alright, let's put the where's the Tamiya cement? Tamiya cement. These guys, you almost don't even have to glue them. They fit in there so well. Alright. Whole plate. Oh, we got to put this one on there. This one almost really doesn't need any glue. I feel like I saw something crazy this weekend. Now I'm talking about the fire drill at the hotel. Something else. I can't remember what it was. Guess maybe it wasn't that crazy. He did some organized vision. I was kind of discovered I don't have as many as I thought. I'm gonna get him primed tomorrow with a rattle can if it's not raining. Yeah, I don't even know what the weather is this week coming up. Okay, so we got to put the front plate on here. That's common to all of them. I'm actually not going to put this on yet because there's parts that go around it I want to make sure those things fit before I put this thing in its place. Okay, so the next one is front plate whole machine gun. I'll go ahead and pull the whole machine gun out. It's going to prime the Union troops as they're dead easy to paint and tend to speed paint them like no tomorrow. Then what are you going to do with them? You're just going to have them for display, or are you going to use them for a game, or? Maybe we'll put it down. I will put it. Okay, the machine gun goes towards the left side. So the Czech 38 must have a driving compartment, just like British tanks. They drive on the wrong side. That's good to know. If I remember correctly, there's some French vehicles that also have the driving compartment. On the British side. Okay. Front plate MG. Okay, generic tank base completed. Note base step for Martyr options. Okay. Hull tops for Martyr 138H. Okay, we start there. Well, we still need. Oh no! It uses the same part. It uses the same top as the tank, not the Martyr. Interesting. Okay. Once again, I play no American Civil War games at the convention. Not exactly a surprise. I did pass up, and I keep bringing this up because I kind of regret it, but it was the right. Oh shit! Okay, hold on a second here. All right, hold on a second. Okay, it's not that one. It's the one that's on the sprue here. It's this one. It's all these pieces here. Somebody in the flea market was selling the expansion for the game of Ironclads by Excalibur, the redoing it, and the later expansion of them both together. They were unpunched and supposedly had all the stuff there for them. Now, I actually like the game quite a bit. Not for the American Civil War stuff, but for the other scenarios that are in there. And he was only wanting $30 for it, for both of them. I probably should have jumped on it. However, I do not want to buy things and not do anything with them. And anytime I'm going to play that game that Joe already has, I'm probably going to play with Joe. We'll just use his copy. Good to see Sherwood Games there. Always donated a kidney to him at the Siege of Augusta. He had a lot of bolt action stuff. A lot of bolt action. Just about everything he had was 28 millimeter. So needless to say, really didn't speak to me anything that he had. This uses this, whatever this rolled up thing is. Okay, cool. We're going to need that. And we're going to need this. And we're going to need this. And again, we had 2 estate sales. I knew about one of them coming, but I didn't know about the second one. I guess they're just going to be, as the gamer age gets older, it's going to happen more and more often, I suspect. Unfortunately. Okay, I think that's the parts that it says use them. I'm sure that they missed a few. We'll just set this off to the side here. Lots of bolt action Warlord game stuff in general. Yeah. Not a big fan of World War games. They're the Borg of the hobby. They just meander through the hobby assimilating smaller companies. Oh, really? I think that they're kind of Games Workshop light. They still have this whole thing of, you know, they discontinue shit. I never built any of that stuff. Are they the ones that make the ships on a flip-flop? Ships that are based on a flip-flop? It's funny, it doesn't tell you what to use this for. I suspect this is to potentially cover this, but you know, these instructions aren't that clear, honestly. But I don't think I'm going to get that confused about them. Okay, so here's the 2 halves. That's the first thing we're going to do. Is let's clean up these 2 halves, and we'll glue them to the hull. They also charge an arm and leg for their product. The quality isn't as good. Yeah, I love these guys. Plastic Soldier Company, love them. And there's inaccuracies in some of their kits. I'm not going to lie to you, but I think they're really good quality. The plastic they use is really good. Asinine tournament mentality. Yeah. I've played a lot of tournaments. And I don't have a problem with tournaments, but I know what you're talking about. You know, you go and you watch some event and everybody's got king tigers and weird shit. You know, and it's cool, but the stuff that's... Oh, hold on 1 second. You know, it's fun to play games that, well, I've said it, I'm not playing another tournament game. And it's not because I just like tournaments, I just like playing stuff that's more historical matchups. You like the lore and the miniatures, but refuse to game it. I never got into the lore. How's the plastic on the Games Workshop miniatures? Is it brittle? Is it got a little bit of flex to it? Like, I think this plastic has a little bit of flex to it. I'm a big fan of this plastic. I don't like brittle plastic. Not very forgiving. Okay, Captain, thanks for stopping by, man. Plastic superior in comparison to most plastic kits on the market as far as miniatures go. Okay. Never built any. Downside. Hey, Noble Shield. Very hard plastic. The downside is you get people who do go to competitive with bolt action and treat it like Warhammer 140K. That's a good way to put it. I like that. Rather than a historical game, yeah. Or, you know, you probably have Russians and British fighting each other. Or Americans and British. That might not bother some people, but I couldn't do it. Not with WW2. Alright, this should fit here. And should fit here. I like to test fit all this shit first. And then this cruciform base fits in there. Remember somebody gushing about a competitive Flames of War army that was spamming Pumas. That's a rare event. Even saw that somebody was trying to put a scenario together that involved a lot of Pumas, and they used it based on an advanced squad leader scenario that says the Pumas are used by a Panzer division, and actually is not confirmed that they even had any. Because the Pumas are rare. And there's no Panzer division that used the Panther, not the Panther, the Puma and the Lukes at the same time. That'd be a cool heavy reconnaissance unit to use them both together, but none of them did. Okay, this goes towards the front. Oh, like that. Okay, cool. Cool. And then this lays forward on that. Okay. Okay. That lays like this. But I'm pretty sure we're going to have to drill some stuff on that because that's the thing that keeps the barrel from doing its thing in transit, and I don't think it's a solid piece like that. The Pack 40. I love these. It's a solid piece. The barrel is a solid piece. It's not two halves stuck together. I would respond with normal T-34 battalion, turn those Pumas into flaming wrecks. Yep. Hell, T-34-85, by the time the Pumas came out, T-34-85s were out. Nasty. When the weakest one of your main battle tanks has an 85mm gun. Just like how Flames of War got rid of the historical flavor of more competitive stuff, it's like they got rid of designations. Long barrel Panzer IV rather than Panzer IV F2. What units ran the Puma? Never looked it up who ran them because I don't like the Puma. Well, you're not allowed to know. You don't like the Puma. Panzerlehr? I know that one for a fact. Oh, you just look it up on the internet. Puma. Puma armored car units used. A tank encyclopedia is actually pretty good. Good detail. No, it's not going to be on here. I got to look it up. I gotta look it up. There's like 5 units or something like that to use. There's like 5 units that are confirmed to use the Lukes. And Grossdeutschland used neither. Oh, here it is. Panzerlehr, 2nd Panzer, the Trident, 1st SS, those Nazi bastards, 20th Panzer Division. There's a history. It doesn't have a whole lot of Panzer Division. It's kind of in a newer one that you don't hear much about. The 7th, unconfirmed, 13th, unconfirmed, and the Brandenburg Panzer Grenadier Division. 2 issued in January 1945. Yeah. Lehr and 2nd Panzer, both of which were in the West. Lehr was always in the West. Lehr never went east. 2nd Panzer was in the West in Normandy, and it might have gone later to the east. I don't remember. But it was in Bulge also. I believe 2nd Panzer Division is the one that had the longest penetration, the Battle of the Bulge. 1st SS Panzer Division, obviously it was in the west from Normandy, and it wasn't initially in Normandy, but showed up pretty soon. And then it was a Bulge as well. 20th, don't know about them. They might have been on the Eastern Front. That's it. The other stuff's unconfirmed. So, I personally like the Trident of the 2nd Panzer Division quite a bit. You know, to put on a figure. Not to put on a t-shirt I'm wearing. Forget what rules used in World War II project. You're just building them to clear out the backlog. Yeah, yes, I'm mainly using them to clear out the backlog, but I just happen to have my rules here. They're out of print. They're called The Face of Battle. And they're excellent. They're super. It's one vehicle is one vehicle. One man is one man. You count grenades, all that kind of stuff. You know. So yes, I have a ton of vehicles. No, I won't be using any more than 3 of them probably at once. So I'm just building these just like a modeler would build these. That's never going to use them in any game at all. You know. So. Yeah, these instructions are actually pretty poor. Generic tank base complete. Note, base step for martyr options. Okay, well, you don't need the turret assembly. You don't need the turret assembly. But you have to use the same engine deck, I think. And it doesn't say that. So the instructions are not great. It's because I need the engine deck piece, and I didn't cut it out because it didn't say to use it. And that's this piece right here. I want to make sure all this stuff fits in place before you start cutting it out and, oh snap, it's in the wrong. It's in the wrong place. Again, the X-Acto knife untightened itself. I used to watch hockey in the early 90s, back when we used to have our Sega Genesis League. I had the Penguins. Penguins is a team that I was playing. Yeah, see, it doesn't say anything about the rear plate, yet you need that. I've been to one hockey game. It was the Lightning versus the Dallas Stars. I think that's who it was. I think it was the Dallas Stars. All right, let's take. Oh, we don't have to do any. All this stuff is okay. So we go ahead and glue these things that are okay down. All right. Glue points there are going to be. Oh, wrong one. Glue points there are going to be the front all across the bottom and all across the bottom of that one. Got it. Okay. I like using this because if something happens, you don't get a glue fingerprint on things. I don't need to glue the back part yet because there's nothing attached to it just yet. Okay, and then this one goes likewise there. Play street hockey on rollerblades. You ever get hurt really bad? Sounds like you could. Ah, Snapdragon. Alright, we do have to put that there. Well, those jokers together in the back. Okay. This piece fits like so. Oh, interesting. We test fitted it. Now it didn't want to fit in there as easy. All right. No, we did have someone break a hockey stick over my shoulder, and like I said, I mean, technically I got hurt from it as I couldn't move my arm for a while. I had a nasty bruise for 2 months. Didn't the other guy make out worse? Yeah, I remember you telling me about that last week. I think it was last week. It was relatively recently. The guy, I think we're going to call that the episode of the boy who pissed himself. I don't understand how you could be the aggressor, inflict harm, and then being scared of the repercussions that you pee yourself. It just doesn't make any sense. But then, I think you said the guy was your friend, and he did that to you, and, well, that's no way to treat a friend. Just saying. That's not the way forward. Okay. Look at this big old, huge injection mark on the side of this Pack 40. It's massive. It's massive. So this is a job for Plastiputty from Vallejo. We're going to make sure it's bigger so it sticks out. We can sand it down. Okay? Let that do its thing. Let's use the back of the X-Acto knife. Take some of that flash off here and off here. We can't get in there with the sandpaper. And let's drill the end of the barrel of this, because this looks like crap without the barrel drilled. That's probably the biggest improvement you can do on a vehicle. Real easy. Most of them do not have a gun barrel drilled. So drill it out. It gives the illusion of depth. Doesn't have to be super deep. So let's get a series of these in here. Let's move this little happy house out of here. You and your happy house, get on out of here. Okay. Here's the small one. Looking for the pin vise. Here. And looking for the box of drill bits, because we are going to want to go bigger. So, we define the center. this barrel without touching the putty, which I just did. Well, I'll mess with that later. All right, so let's find the center. Put a mark there. Don't try doing it the size you want it to end up being right off the bat. Okay, it popped through there, so it's nice because inside the baffle there, it actually went through. So we're going to stop there. We don't need to drill it into this portion also. It's fine just being on a little cap. Let's go to a bigger barrel, big old drill bit. Not something massive, but something bigger. We'll even use this other side. He was expecting his all-out shot to drop me. When it failed to phase me, it really got really scary. He knew if I hit him back, he was going to go to the emergency room. Well, so he wanted to hurt you really bad, but not kill you. Did he hit you from an angle that you wouldn't have, if he would have dropped you, you wouldn't have known who had done it? No, that's not tight enough. We need to put it in here. Like he hit you from the back, whereas if he would have knocked you out cold, you wouldn't have had a clue who did it. Okay, now I'm going to take this, I'm going to enlarge it. That's how I did the other one, and it worked out really well. Now, I'm going to make sure how much hit you from behind. Yeah, so you could have just knocked you out and you wouldn't have known who it was. Pack 40 barrel end. Here's one. Okay, it doesn't go out quite as big as the bell on the inside, but it's close. All right, then let's okay, I think that's pretty good. Man, that fits so nicely. Actually, I could probably just not even glue it. That way you could rotate it a little bit. Had he knocked me out, I would have been told by my other friends who did it, and I would have put him in the hospital for it. He was a faster runner than I was, so I let him go. In the aftermath, I told him to his face, any given time I could hospitalize him, and he has to live with the fact he hit me from behind with a weapon and failed to drop me. Now he gets to live in shame. Well, depending on how old you are, you're probably better off not putting him in the hospital. Okay, let's look at this support. Martyr 3H drawing. This one. No, doesn't have enough detail. I think best case scenario, you have to drill that center thing out. It's just solid. It's just a solid thing. Oh, there's one with it attached. I would have never built a model with that thing attached. That just doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna do vehicle in combat. All right, let me go to a different place. Let me go to scale mates. And we're going to do a search for Martyr 3H. And let's go 1/35th scale. Tank destroyer. Okay, here's one by Dragon, 1/35th scale. See if there's directions for it. There are. Oh man, this thing's got transmission and everything. Holy smokes. There, it's like open. No. I'm going to have to punt on that. I'd like that to turn it out pretty good, so. Happened when you were 17. I don't think you would have been put in jail, I'm just saying. rear plate here. Stepfather said, had I put the kid in the hospital after that, he wouldn't have said a damn thing because of what the kid did. Yep. Okay. I don't know. This thing doesn't seem right. This thing doesn't seem right at all. It seems like the center should be drilled out. Looks totally different. Looks totally different on the on those instructions right there. Okay, here's another one. Man, why does it take so long to find this? Man, again, I can't make out what the hell that means. Well, that thing's got to be. Nice thing is I've got the ones that I have from the Panzer IIIs, the sprues. I've got 3 more sprues of these. So if some reason happens that I screw this thing up, I got more of them. Okay, that's going to work. Now we'll glue that one on. Okay. What the hell does this go to? I mean, I know this thing's going to be back here. So much flash on this thing that you got to get it all looking smooth. This is going to sit back here. I have no idea what the hell this is for. Is it the front? Oh, it might be. Might be a cover. Well, I don't want to cover where the machine gun is. Okay, well, I probably need to cut off now. Start getting ready to go pick up those folks at the airport. So, anyways, thanks for stopping by, folks. We'll probably finish up this martyr soon. And doesn't mean we're going to paint it anytime soon. Just want to finish it.